life. I wonder will they take me under. Oh shit. Let's grill out this bitch. Fuck. Yeah, a little bit of piece of shade out here. Mm. Yeah. Oh. What the hell you got going on over there? I don't know, mama fucking business. Shit. I'm about to have us a seat real quick. Have us a seat real quick. But yeah, nah. I've been thinking about that. Not since really, well, obviously since the album dropped, but since I seen all the posts and everybody kind of like, I feel like popular opinion don't like the ain't in love with the albums. I feel like it'd be like a lot of industry motion behind a lot of them. Like a lot of people in the industry feel like they fucking with it. A lot of people that's like moving and shaking on the scene now. Very interesting. It should be very interesting. But I ain't heard the whole joint, so I don't really know. And they're dropping the 3 albums, that could be a whole lot of shit. Could be a motherfucker finishing up a contract so he could wait out his time or whatever. Be a lot. But is he him? Like the album say when you put them together? That's the question. Mm. I ain't gonna lie, a versatile dude. Hmm. I feel like he ain't just street artist. I feel like anybody from the street, I'm gonna say like no. Especially, I think it'd be hard to find like a New York rapper that'll say that Drake is him. Especially like once you look at the clips with DMX and things of that nature, and you just, I feel like when you come from the streets in hip hop and the urban side of hip hop, hey, what's happening? I feel like you kind of understand things a little better, right? Like we have different limitations on us by expectation and then self-mental stuff. You know, you're not gonna make certain songs. You're not gonna make pop songs. You're not gonna make reggae songs or things of that nature. Um, Whereas with Drake, he didn't have all those boundaries on him. So I feel like it kind of let him be more of an artist and more of a diverse artist. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't listened to the last 3 records though, so I'm still gonna say, like I said, I haven't heard them. So I don't know how everybody feels about them yet. That's what I really want to know from somebody who's actually heard them. I heard a couple of jumps. I ain't gonna lie, the visuals. Yeah, anybody say them visuals ain't stupid. From the joints I done seen, them visuals was stupid. And his wardrobe always tough. I ain't gonna stunt on that. That jean jacket, John, that joint was tough. What up? You saying hey and hi. Is he him? That's what I want to know. Is Drake him? Hey, hi. Is he him? We know I'm me, you. Is he him? That's the question. On this beautiful night that I'm sipping on this Red Bull, you know. That's the question. They say that if his records and stuff don't hit like that, people don't fall in love with it, that it's gonna be bad for hip hop and the marketability of hip hop. Like, is he him in that sense? one man had that much power and influence over the game? Anyway, you really think so? Like if Ice Man, we already seen like the reception and the talk of it. I feel like it's gonna do numbers no matter what, just because people want to hear and people want to see what he got to say about a lot of things and how he gonna behave on a lot of things. What's happening about it. But I feel like I said when you put that much weight on one person's music, and it's like he's a different type of dude, he's a different type of monster. You can't really compare a lot of artists to Drake. You can't compare a lot of rappers to Drake. When you do something like that with Drake, you more or less got to single out just the rap part of Drake's arsenal and the essence of, I feel like. Pardon so. And I ain't saying this as a Drake fan or nothing like that. I'm just stating the real, Hello, I just joined your stream. I hope for you to succeed in life, and I would really like to see how far you make it in your channel. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not worth anything. Hey, look, Sonny, I appreciate that, man. Look, we all need some good, and we're gonna make it as far as we are supposed to. I feel like we're just gonna put good out there. We're gonna have real conversations, and especially when it comes to this hip hop thing, and especially when it comes to the music, money. What I don't, but because it's like even this conversation now with is he him? At some point you got to either say, well, you got to give him his flowers, or you got to say, well, this is why he's not him. You know what I'm saying? And you can't do it in the middle of a rap beef every time. It can't be when somebody's going through a rap beef, because you can't win them all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to have these conversations. Like he's dropping music. Now's the time to have those conversations. Like obviously the numbers are the numbers. The numbers, they say the numbers don't lie. We all know that ain't true. But the numbers still tell a very, very interesting story, because you got to figure like record labels. Drake isn't the only person that record labels don't put a lot of money behind. Say it like that. You feel me? I know a lot of people like to throw that out there. Well, man, he got the machine behind him. He got them bots and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, cool. But a lot of artists do. So what's the difference between his bots and yours? He got them. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, though. He do got different type of, nigga got he got jets better than shit you gonna fly on at the airport. But, but I'm just saying in the real essence of things, like, it had to be a major conspiracy for somebody to put that much motion behind one artist like Drake from a different. And I ain't gonna lie and say that, the brother Jewish, he mixed as well. I ain't gonna say that, it's them. In the music industry, that's a hell of a card. You know what I'm saying? But I think the takeaway from his lane is definitely interesting too, how people do. He getting a lot of backlash, but I don't see nobody saying too much about the album in here, or whether or not he him, or what does it mean to be him in this musical era anyway. Is it influence? He might be him, no matter how people like to look at it, because people say that, well, he always gonna get on other people's records and stuff, and he be stealing their style or whatever. Is it that, or is he adapting? You know what I mean? And at the same time, it's like, why is his presence more dominant than all these people that he's leeching off of allegedly, in that essence that people say? You feel me? So it's like, so back to that, what makes it him? You ain't gonna be everybody fan. Everybody gonna be your biggest. You ain't gonna be a hero to everybody forever. So we can't try and do that, because even with Mike, not comparing him to Mike, but even with Mike, shit, they ain't let Mike go out great, not in the eyes of the people. You feel me? They did Michael Jackson real crazy in the eyes of the people. So when you look at Drake's situation, I don't think it's, like I said, like a parallel or nothing like that, but I definitely think that Like I said, man, shit, you gotta break it down, man. What is it makes him him? What is the him? And in hip hop is like I said, are you gonna try and take away from his impact in hip hop and label it just as like as a rapper? Like, all right, well, no, his rap ability isn't, he ain't him because of his rap ability. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? I think people really gotta be careful how they want to pick and choose and pick apart stuff because it really affects everybody on that scale. I do think that Drake is that big of an artist, whereas though when we pick people apart like Drake and we say things about the talent and the delivery because of where they from or the culture, you know what I mean, part, it gets kind of sketchy, it gets a little iffy, right? Because then it's like, hell, if you ain't from New York, you're not gonna fit in. You're not going to pristine theatrics. If you ain't from New York, you're not going to fit into the eyes of a lot of real hip hop. You know what I mean? Straight like that. So, what's pristine theatrics? What you mean? Break that down for me. I think we all got to realize that too, though. And if we talking about rap like that, it's like, shit, that's boom bap now. No disrespect to anybody from New York, but the drill scene kind of took over New York. And I know that a lot of New York guys ain't gonna like this, but 6ix9ine might have been the biggest thing to come out of New York in the last decade. And I'm just saying, like musically, you know what I mean? From the streets, however you want to put it, from the hip hop scene, 6ix9ine is probably the biggest thing to come out of New York, musically. And shit, who else then came? Who we all? And this ain't no disrespect to like Pop Smoke or none of them or whatever, but we all have to remember that 6ix9ine had a run during their time too. So. You feel me? We're not talking about, anything other than what we talking about. What up, CC? How you feeling, big dog? I'm just putting people on the facts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody say they got the facts, but they ain't putting people on the facts. How you doing, though, family? We out here enjoying this breeze on the eastern shore. But... And I gotta give them, like I said, I like to have this conversation about Drake. I really want to have it like a once and for all. I know this ain't gonna be the last one, but I feel like this is gonna be very close to, like me ending me coming to a conclusion of how I personally even register Drake as far as in the game and just on a personal level. How you feel about it? Is he him, man? You know what I'm saying? Is he him? And what does it take to be him? Who else would be him if not him? Is a question too. If Drake ain't him, then who's him? I come from a generation of monsters. That's why I be wanting to pick up the mic, because it's like, who him. Because everybody who ain't stepping up to this thing and everybody who do step up getting laid down by this mic, you gonna know who him. It ain't a question. Grillas, what's your honest opinion on Ice, man? I ain't heard it all. I like the visuals on the 2 joints I heard. I like the visuals. On the 2 tracks that I heard, I was not overly impressed. You feel me? I definitely wasn't overly impressed. I like the direction, and I like the thought about it. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't overly impressed. I felt like it could have had a little bit more grit to it. But I don't know. I ain't really got to listen to it to give an honest opinion on that. I don't think Drake can stand toe to toe with Proof. With Proof, but that's what I'm saying. On what level are you talking about? You talking about rapping, just straight rapping bar for bar type of stuff? That's what I'm saying. Because people keep on saying this about Drake, and I had to check myself because I found myself saying, man, shit, him, what rap? And but then I was like, well, shit, Drake do a lot more than just rap. He rap more than just one way. You understand? So it's like, if I'm really gonna have this conversation, I got, you know how I am. That's what I'm saying. Like, so what do you mean? It's almost like Chris Brown, right? You take Chris Brown at that breakfast, not the Breakfast Club, my bad, disrespectful. You take Chris Brown when he was on Drink Champs, and they said, hey, Nori was like, hey, is it true that somebody else writes your music or whatever? He like, yeah. They're like, is that cool? He like, well, who gonna sing it better than me? Type of shit. You feel me? Yes, rapping and culture. Once you involve mumble into it, I can't do it, Grilla. Oh, yeah, no. But he could do more than mumble rap, though. I definitely wouldn't label Drake as a mumble rapper. Do I like it when any rapper's doing the mumble thing? For real, not too tough. Not too tough. But I wouldn't put Drake as a mumble rapper, because Drake can, you know what I mean? Like, if we think about Drake's songs and catalog, he has more song-like material than mumble material, I think. Personally, I would say I wouldn't do that to the bull. And culture-wise, what you mean? Because that's what I was just saying in the beginning. You ain't catch that part, but that's what I was saying in the beginning. Are we talking about New York culture? Or are we talking about West Coast culture? Because if we remember, the West Coast rappers, they didn't really vibe with the New York rappers. And New York rap didn't vibe with West Coast rap. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when we keep on telling everybody, well, look, they culture don't mix in with what's hip-hop and this, that, and the other, it's like, well, if we just gonna go off the pillar off of New York hip-hop, then we need to really, really reevaluate what we even calling this thing in general and what we doing in general. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that, though. That's how I really feel, though. Because you take some stuff from the Bay and you can play that on the East Coast, they go, what the hell is this? But that's really, like, really something that, you know, they respect over there. So it's out of self-respect, no lie, lyrics, thoughts, and capturing the essence of rap. You don't need any mumble trend nonsense. Now, I don't think you do need mumble trend nonsense. I do feel like maybe high energy and scat rapping and different things of that nature that involve the jazz element. You know, like back when people used to rap fast back in the day, it was more of a jazz element. So it had a very fast pace and different. It was just different. But anyway, as far as in him, no, when it come to that, though, like I said, I still wouldn't put that on him. As far as in the lyrics, I'm not gonna lie. I was really one-sided about the lyrics until I seen was that Kool Mo D? The Kool Mo D interview on he was on Club Shay Shay. And when I seen that and he broke down what was freestyling and stuff like that from that perspective, a perspective that I feel like I get, you know, I respect as far as in, you know, that what they look at as the tone of hip hop. And he broke it down for me. It's like, honestly, can't nobody say nothing to these guys, because freestyling and stuff like that was never coming off the top of the dome. Coming off the top of the dome, it was the only time that these guys from this era are saying, like, that was when they really created. Every rapper created all of his own lyrics and all this other stuff. I do feel like you just, you know, it's a dangerous thing, but I feel like any powerful art is. But the self-respect part, I don't think you should just grab anybody's culture. I don't think you should just represent things that you don't stand for. You know, being a music artist is a lot different than being an actor, I think. So I don't think that it's okay for you to just portray a bunch of things and say it's in the name of art type of shit. You know what I mean? You can't be like, well, I'm not really a gangster. I was just acting gangster because, you know, that's the art. That's what content creators can do and stuff like Charleston White, and them, they can do that. They can say, well, look, man, I can say whatever I want because I'm living a really different life. You feel me? With the music, I feel like it's a lot different. because of people's expectations. I don't think that people are expecting that from it. I think some people look at music artists and think, oh no, for sure that's fake. This is, for entertainment. This is bop bop bop. But I think you have more people that really look at music artists and get so into their story, the emotions, the vibes, bop bop bop. Well, I would tell Drake, bro, stop clapping with Sexy Red, make it make sense. Oh shit. I ain't gonna lie. Certain shit don't make sense. I think he just like to really have a good time, bro. I seen a picture of him and like academics on academics' birthday, and it was just like, oh, Drake, he looked like the dude that party all the time. You know what I mean? You could just tell like your life a party for, and I ain't mad at it. It's one of those things, man, where we be putting people on these crazy pedestals. If I had Drake type of money and all this stuff, I'm not fitting to be out here looking like Gandhi. I'm not fitting to be on Mr. Righteous type of time. I'm going to be doing good in the hood. Please believe. I'm going to be educating people, most definitely. Try not to promote too much ratchet shit, but damn, I'm going to be living life, and who knows what the hell I'm going to be doing or what I'm going to be. Man, I ain't got no worries. I started off singing about wanting to be successful, and I am, goddammit. And, I don't know what the hell's going to happen after that. But no, I wouldn't be promoting that bullshit, though, for real. And this ain't no disrespect to her. Like, I feel like that's just bullshit to me. It's just like if somebody would say the same shit, I wouldn't take no disrespect. We're talking about music. I ain't talking about her personally. You know what I'm saying? Her personally, get your bag. You feel me? Now you can change the cycle of, the music you make now, you know what I'm saying, will be entertainment for your family and not lifestyle driven as much. You understand? So we always gotta remember shit like that too. That's why I don't hate. I just like to understand it. And when I be feeling certain ways about stuff, I really like to see how the mass feel about it, just like on a real interacting with them level, because sometimes you do be biased, and sometimes you do be locked into a way or stuck in a generation in the SSL. You know what I'm saying? Grilla, you gonna be like, hey, who's Sexy Red? That Felicia from down the block? She changed her name? Shit. Oh, nah, you already know. For me, the Sexy Red, when I first seen Sexy Red, I ain't think it was gonna pop like that. I thought it was gonna be a moment, because I come from that era where everybody could have Sexy Red. No disrespect to Sexy Red, but I come from the era where she wasn't the hot shit. She could dance like this and do all this freak shit because she was getting tossed around type of joint, because she wasn't the cutest. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be in the, in the essence of where I come from. Like, we wasn't fighting over hood rat joints. Like, you could come from the hood. You could have rats, but you better be trying to be a nurse or a teacher or something, acting like you got some sort of sense out here. That's how we was running it. Wasn't nobody going crazy for no Sexy Red. And what, I'm not saying that wasn't nobody beating down the door. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, at the same time, wasn't nobody, no. Yeah, I was keep that shit on the hush. Man, then I just seen you with a whole girl. Nah, bro, yo, stop playing. You feel me? That's how that was. You know what I mean? Like, damn, bro, y'all up in my business. Yeah, and that good though, ain't it, boy? Yeah, you know something. Yeah, that's how that shit go. Every chick was a Sexy Red, no lie. Is that pedestal you was talking about? No, for sure. That, and once they put it out there for everybody, you gotta understand too, like, the world is so easy to forget. The world don't remember that. Until there was a OnlyFans and all that stuff, and a Pornhub and all that, nigga, everybody couldn't even just see it. You couldn't just see it. No, man, look, you wasn't just getting none. You wasn't just seeing it. You wasn't just, you had to watch Skinamax or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was the women, they dropped their value in that essence. They think they get in the bag now because the bag is more accessible. The bag could have easily still been accessible like that without them revealing so much of themselves or giving up so much of themselves to have it first. Man, oh man, why do I do the things I choose in life? What up, brother? What up? Glaze, well, what up? What up? How you feeling, KD? So, but it all be about self-respect and stuff like that at the end. I definitely still believe in it. How you carry yourself, the things, the limitations that you have, what you demand as far as in your respects. The fact that people don't think that they gonna get it or don't have enough, don't put enough worth on themselves or enough belief in their ability. You grooving in that Peruvian? Man, I think you was doing that last time I talked to you, so I ain't shocked. Pardon, so yeah, I'm not shocked on that one. You was doing that last time, I believe. At least you consistent. Consistency is key, my friend. Consistency is key on me. Yeah, I be seeing people just talking, looking, pulling up all that stuff out. You know, we don't like that there. We don't like that there. And my phone down. They thinking Drake and Sexy Red collab like a 50 and Aaliyah collab. Did 50 and Aaliyah ever collab? But anyway, I mean, damn. The music is so different now. I'm trying to think. I guess you would compare anything with Sexy Red. I was going to say to a Lil Kim, but even then, the music content is way tougher. Like, it's way different. It's hard to even put them two on the, respectfully put them two on in the same type of conversation. Nah, man, I'm about to move the fuck out for the second time. I'm the dumbass. Yeah, you retarded. Man, he said for the second time. That means that you ain't done yet, because the third time's a charm. So you ain't even done yet. That's the funny thing. You out for the second time. Shit, you got to spin the block one more again. You might as well just put your bags down and say, look, I know I got one more in me, so we just gonna say I left. I ain't gonna leave. We're gonna run this thing back again and get this last one out the way. That's all you got. That's how you do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nah, they ain't collab, but that's how this gen think of it. Oh, yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know. I feel like even this generation, I don't even think it's the generation. I think it's the people. I think the people just don't realize what really be happening. And on some real shit, yeah, no, there's not really people listening to all this music out here. Not by fucking far. There are that many bots. There are that many farms and stuff that are making it seem like people are putting attention in the places that they're not. So as though more people will put their attention there. That's the real side of the shit. That's what I'm trying for right now. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you do. Look, man, if you need a line, man, you just let me know, bro. I got you. I ain't talking about one of them lines. But I'm talking about, I'm talking about some lyrical gold, my brother. Not one of them lines, I'm talking about that lyrical gold. But anyway, man. Oh, that's what I was saying. Yeah, because look at it like this, right? As I keep telling everybody, the superstars are always the superstars, right? You got young boy, he's still out there really doing numbers and stuff. Still, you got the one boy, the boy Big X, he still do some numbers and stuff. You got some people that's still really out there making motion and doing all these numbers, and then you look at this other shit that be going on. You be like, oh, how the fuck is this nigga like Sauce Walker streaming? Got all these people over there watching him stream. Dean and AB got everybody over there watching them stream. Line of credit. This nigga, man, look, you need to hit my jack, Jack. You know what I'm talking about too. I'm not very thrilled with you, sir. But anyway, so it just be like that shit like that, man. Like, don't people ever wonder, like, what is everybody in the world listening to rap? That's what it would have to be for these numbers to make sense, for the streaming to make sense. Well, what, everybody in the world is watching you know what I mean, these people? I think when you have people like Aiden Ross and what's the young boy, Speed, and the whole clique, what's the clique? Not AMG. Fucking that one streamer clique. They got all these little cliques. And those numbers make sense for me, for them to have those type of numbers. All this other shit, ain't nobody watching that shit, bro. Ain't nobody really there. Really, you believe sometimes you had to be firm from a certain gen to actually understand it? You feel me? Like you had to live it? No. I do feel like as I got older, I feel like this, right? When it comes to generations and understanding them, if you're an open-minded person and you have enough common sense and things of that nature for the basics, I feel like you get the gist of it. And other things come with experience and, just getting older and obtaining more knowledge. Past that, I feel like it's a lot more difficult for these newer generations to understand the generations before them, because for them, they see a song, right? Take a song from the 60s, right? They see a song from the 60s, that motherfucker's on YouTube. They see on YouTube that the song was posted 10 years ago. They think the song came out 10 years ago. It's like they don't understand that technology didn't exist to the extent that they have it at all 20 years ago. 25 years ago, the internet didn't give people access that it has now. There was payphones everywhere. You know what I mean? What, a payphone? Yeah, water fountains. Water was fucking free. Shit was everywhere. Everywhere. Couldn't go to a park and not several water fountains. Water was everywhere. Good water, all sorts of stuff like that. It's just like they don't understand that the technology in the world that they live in, it's hard for them to look back because the books don't put it in the right perspective, and so much happened in such a little time that the history that they're told about is still going to be the history that the winner, that the person that wants you to control the narrative, that's what they're going to give you. You're not going to hear the story that your mom and pop and them will tell you. You know what I'm saying? The shit that make you understand why they was listening to some of the music and shit they was listening to, or vibing the way they was vibing. It's not explained. You know what I'm saying? It's not explained. I be letting my daughter hear some of the music and stuff from back in the day. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, this is your culture right here. Yeah. She's like, what? Because they don't show a lot of the bands and people playing all these instruments and all of these different levels to the music and stuff. They show you what, like you said, sexy red. You know what I mean? So it's all about the narrative and the information that they have access to. Our generation, my generation for sure, is a super unique generation because like the internet and all that shit being around in my teenage years, it only made it so as though, like I said, it was a tool. And they're like, hey, we had to work. Hey, it was shit. When mom and dad, they wasn't trying to hear about that internet. They was not trying to hear about that AOL CD coming in the mail. Did it come? Did it not? They don't want to hear nothing about that. And you're not fitting to tie up mom's phone. So that was a very big part as well, because you was not fitting to tie up that house phone. So even if they'd have played that trick, they should have just played that trick on people. If they'd have played the trick on people that, yeah, no, The internet got to run off the phone line. It has to. It's the only way. You know, shit. It'd still be better for the world. It'd be better for the world still, because everybody still couldn't afford several phone lines and all this other stuff. And you wouldn't be walking around with everything in your damn hand. You know, shit. You wouldn't be like, yo, fam, we finna play when we get home from school. Yeah, man. You know, of course, man. We gotta play every day, bro. That's what we do. All we do is play. Yeah. And you get home and never leave the house again. No. What the fuck is that? Like, that should be mind fucking blown. You know, these kids don't even know what outside shoes is, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know why they don't know what outside shoes is? Because they ain't going the fuck outside. And when they do go outside, they going outside to go somewhere or something. So they don't know what outside shoes is, you know? I come from a generation where everybody knew what their outside shoe was. Nigga, you might go to school and hear somebody saying, yeah, man, shit, I'm grounded, man. I ain't put on my outside shoes, wore my good shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Simple shit. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be hard for them. It's gonna be hard for them. Because even the way the world is still going, right? Imagine just some of the stories that you used to go to school and tell, come back from school here. You know, motherfucking, they like, you mean Crocs? It'd be like, you know what I mean? You get your ass whipped back in the day? Yeah, you went back to school and shit, boy, man, fuck, I ain't fucking with y'all no more. Missing curfew, got my ass toe up, bro. You know what I'm saying? You say that shit now, bro. One of these kids go to school and say that shit now, bro. Look, shit, mom took the fucking phone cord, whipped my ass with that bitch. Boy, mom's ass going to jail. You understand? Mom ass going to jail. Just that simple. So, you know what I mean? They take a lot, and they leave that out. There's so many people that be saying great shit on the internet. They be like, man, you know, this was wrong, and this, that, and the other. Man, shit, lack of ass whoopings is what's wrong. Now, the world got to deal with the fact that you ain't want to whip no ass. That's what's wrong. Or that you know, that enough people didn't buck the system. There was too many people afraid of Johnny Law. Everybody was acting tough and shit. But the parents, they was really worried about going to that work and job that they needed. They didn't want to go to jail for whipping that ass. But that's the real truth. That's the real truth. And we shouldn't have, I mean, it's a thin line, because parents do get out of control, but hell, they made the motherfucker. That'd be the thing, too. It'd be like this, right? I know this is going to sound cold-hearted, but fuck it. It's the truth. People care way too motherfucking much about other people's shit. No. Is a person like a thing, an item or whatever? Yes, no. It is when you want it to be. When you see somebody's fucking kid acting a fucking fool or fucked up in the game, you're like, look at that little boy. Boy, he ain't got no damn manners. Parents ain't shit. This, that, and the other. You ain't going to go take care of that nigga. But parents get the whipping on his ass, and it's, oh, somebody need to call motherfucking services on that motherfucker. Boy, he don't know what he doing. He shouldn't be hitting that boy like that, and this, that, and the other, and this, that, you know. And then it's like parents talking to their kids. They telling their kids what they want, how they feel about the world. Now all of a sudden the parents bad because they putting the wrong shit in the parents' mind. And nigga, that's what I be saying. Like they want us to make the motherfuckers so as though they can raise and breed and everything, but we, you know, it's a weird situation. You understand? I'm just saying. You gotta think about these things, man. How you doing? I'll be back though. I'll fuck with y'all in a minute.